Hello everybody, welcome back. Welcome if you're new. Today we'll be going out and visiting the spring because we got a grant and some blueprints from the University of Kentucky to go down and build us a rain pump. And after that we'll be spreading manure, and I've got some interesting things planned on the other side of that. You'll may be able to tell from these tracks, Granddad's been out here spreading manure, got a little bit right here, but the majority of it's down at the low field. I might have taken you all there before, I don't remember if I have or not, but we got more to spread today. It'll be over that way in that field over there. The spring, it's right down here. We got a creek that runs at the edge of our farm. Whoa, got caught. Yeah, we got a creek that runs at the edge of our farm, and like I said, we got a grant and a blueprint from the University of Kentucky to build a ram pump on it to reduce the water costs of the farm. And when you're farming, you want to reduce any costs that you possibly can. But I'll see you all in just a second when we get right down there. We're down at the spring. Granddad's here. He's going to explain to you how it works, and I'll show you as we go along. So up there's the spring. Here's our line. That's where it comes out.
Okay, well, we measured it, and we measured it a few weeks ago when we put this line in, and we've been experiencing a drought here, and but this spring has always been functional. It always delivers water. And of course, depending on how saturated the ground is, depends on the volume you get out of it. But as I've been here on this farm 50 years, and my in-laws were here many years before that. As far as anybody knows, the spring is continuous. It's never dried up, which is a blessing. But the curse of this spring is that it's 50 feet below where we would like to have it. And we signed up on a program with NRCS several years ago that we would fence all of our animals out of running streams and ponds and creeks, and therefore we have to have a watering source. So right now we're watering out of a well, and then we have a plan B in case the electricity goes off. We can hook onto city water, but with the amount of cattle that we run, we've already determined that's too expensive. That costs about $300 a month, which is $3,600 a year, which is, you know, we've got hundreds of thousands of gallons running down into Lake Cumberland here that we're going to try to harness and pump up the hill. And the way that we want to do that is with a hydraulic ram pump. Now, we don't have it functional right now, but the thing works on hydraulic pressure. When you control the flow that's coming out of that spring, you can run it into the ram pump, and when the water hits the ram, a check valve opens and closes, and you have a homemade pressure tank on it, and it's supposed to pump 10% of the volume that's coming through your pipe up the hill. And as a matter of fact, if it works like it's supposed to, it can do it for many miles, as long as you have the vertical measurement and figurations right. It doesn't look like there's that much more volume, and we just measured it 3 times to make sure. But using this bucket, catching this water that's coming into it, we have 8 gallons a minute coming through that stream right there. I guess you can see it if Ellie would get out of the way. And that doesn't look like 8 gallons a minute, but that is a constant flow. So if we can harness that, you can multiply it out. That's hundreds of thousands of gallons of water that's coming out of the ground, that's running down this stream bed into the creek that goes into another creek that eventually winds up in Lake Cumberland, and then eventually winds up in the Gulf of Mexico. So, you know, we want to try to use the natural resource, and that's our goal today. We'll know more after we get the pump functional and installed, and we'll let you know more then.
All right, everybody. Well, we're heading up from the creek. We're going back up, and we're going to start working in the barn. Right now Granddad's measuring out how far it is from the bottom so we can get the right calculations done. But I'll see y'all when we get back to the barn. All right, everybody, we are back at the barn. We just made it back from the creek and the ram pump that we're gonna build, and we're gonna get 2 gates, and we're gonna put them over that way a little bit so that the cows can go from their field over there through this green patch and into the barn, because down there where they've been coming in, it's just a real mess for them, and it's waist high, and we just can't find a way to fix it for right now. All right, everybody, so we got the green gates put in right there where they can't mix with the other cows. 17's right there, she's eating the grass, and we got this wire panel that we're tightening down right now coming from right there so that they can walk underneath that and get through. All right, everybody, I'm gonna move the skid steer. Granddad's getting Big John ready. We're gonna fuel it up. We got it running right now, but I'm gonna move the skid steer real quick and I'll be right back. All right, everybody, we got the skid steer hooked back, put back where it goes, and right now Granddad's fixing to move a hay feeder. Now I've got to put the wire up where all the cows go to eat. I've got to put this wire up so that he can make it through, and so can the manure spreader. Well, as you all might have been able to see, the manure spreader has broken down again in the same spot it usually does, right there on that thing. It's a chain drive. Sometimes they slip off. Whenever it does that, one side keeps going and the other side don't, and it bends the bar like this, and then nothing will be able to be pushed out of the back. You all can see right there how slanted that bar is compared to this one. Well, we remembered from past experiences that the hay right there really gets caught up in them chains, and when it gets caught up in the chains, it makes sure they quit moving, and when they don't move, it tears up. So we'll have to spend a good while fixing this, and it may have to get parked back in front of the garage like it was before. As you all can see, we got one side working. It's still slipping right there, but we set it to be like that. As you can see, the right side right here has still got a bunch of manure left in it. The left side, clean as can be. Well, we decided we're gonna have to go to the house because this right here is what tightens the chain, and when we try to turn this bolt, this nut, this bolt keeps on turning with it, and we can't have that if we want it to get tight. So I'll see you all when we get back to the house. As you all can see, today didn't go as planned as we hoped it would. The manure spreader, which is an International 275, broke down again, and it's done this many times in the past, and it's been the same problem over and over and over and over and over again. That rolling chain that it has, the bars on it like to bend because I guess there's not an even number of links or something. We've had the same problem before, and we thought we fixed it last time, but we thought we fixed it the time before that, and the time before that, and the time before that. And in regards to earlier in the video, whenever I mentioned the Rand pump, as of editing, we have decided to go with a solar pump instead, as it would be more logical for the plans we have in mind, which are pumping the water to the house and into some troughs and storage tanks and everything. And on another note, be prepared for a long form video from Natalie explaining how we mix our cattle feed and what goes into it in the coming weeks. And I'll be quiet now, and as usual, enjoy the video. as he gets that feeder right there moved, I'm gonna have to unhook his bucket, and then he's gonna get the hay spear on, and we're gonna start mixing. I would show you, but I'm gonna leave that to Natalie for the coming video. Before we finish doing everything and start feeding, we got a visitor. Natalie came out.
My sweatshirt.
She's out here looking for the truck keys.
I'm going to burn some boxes.
They're in the wrapper.
That's a strange place. Okay, so I'm gonna go get the truck keys for Natalie, but that's the end of my video for today. Let's see, what should the question be? Let me know which brand and model tractor is your favorite. Mine, of course, would be an Alice Chalmers WC, because that's the tractor I have. But I'd love to hear your input. Always remember to like, comment, and subscribe. See y'all.